Welcome back to Tech. I am going to be building a large ship today that's going to be a planetary carrier, as in it's supposed to enter into a planet's atmosphere and drop off targets or, target craft and stuff like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And then it's supposed to be able to breach it with all the crafts it had before as well as cargo. So I pulled out some of my previous works and I am going to be building off of these styles. The small ships here are mostly here for size reference, so I know how to build my hangar system. I intend for it to have a large hangar or moderate sized hangar, for these ships over here, and then I intend for it to have a lower hangar with a ramp built in that will be for wheeled vehicles like this truck right here. This is a cargo transport truck. This ship here is out because I intend to copy its boom system, though instead of doing it with merge blocks like I did here, I am going to actually be using a programmable block with, I think it's Whip's rotor control, which will give me access to rotating the engine booms without needing to merge the ship to use those thrusters. Just to give a quick demonstration of what it will do. One position will be for atmospheric, and then the other one will be for when I'm in space. Or when I'm landing, it'll probably be tilted as well. I've never attempted this with a large ship before, so that might be a little interesting. First off, I intend to make the hangar system, the front hangar, I intend to do a forked front like this that leads into the hangar area itself. Just a design preference, but I've got to try keeping this ship as light as I possibly can. So, with that, I'm going to move over here. Yes, you can see my other ships in the background. I have my military fleet on parade over there. Okay, I want this to at least be in alignment with something. Okay, just like most of my projects, I'm going to start by putting down a single block. That is not the block I was looking for. Did it do it to me again? Yes, it did it to me again. Well, fine, we'll do this a different way. There, now I have an actual block. And then I'm going to activate mirror mode. And then from there, I'm going to work on the hangar. Only problem I currently have is the fact that this ship here is not ion capable. So I'll just paste it there. That's not going to cut it. So we'll make this one block wider. Now I should delete this to get it out of my way. From there, I already know from previous experience that I am going to need at least a minimum of that on top and bottom. And where are my airlock doors in my tabs? There it is. I'm going to change my color to my tan for the airlock doors themselves. There's one row. There's the other. These extend 2 blocks high, so that's 4 blocks. So there is my first hangar system. Let's change this back to my purple. From there, let's see, where do I want to go from next? Because I would like to be able to fit in one of my transport atmospheric crafts, which can help with my truck. They're actually made to work together. So if the truck ever gets stuck, I can bring this thing over, pick it up, and fly off. I also want to make sure that I can get this hummingbird in there, though I'm thinking about making a separate port on top of the ship just for the hummingbird, which wouldn't require the airlocks at that point. So there's my hangar. I normally like to have an extra block on the side so I can do front entrances for airlocks. Should be located right there. And as I stated, I was going to do that forking. Though I have not put the slope blocks in, that would be my fork right there. And I kind of like the idea of forking this out just a little bit wider on the outside. Actually, I do not need to do all of that, because I have 1, 2, and 3. Bam. There we go. I'm going to leave this hollow because I said I need to leave this ship as light as possible. Thud thud. Something did not delete right. I guess that serves as a warning right in this video to watch where you are putting blocks in mirror mode. But anyways, this a nice empty space here. I am not going to let it go to waste. So I'm going to put a large thruster in there. There we go. Because I know I'm going to need it. Might as well cram as much as I can in there. So with that, now I need to work on hangar depth. And now, because I know what I can do, 7 blocks in, I can put another large thruster right here. As I said, I'm not going to look at gift space, and as the expression goes, I'm not going to look at a gift horse in the mouth. However, I don't need that. That's just extra weight. That's a better point. Thank you so much for my empty brain for coming up with it. I should be doing this as reverse thrusters. Thank you, brain, for the wonderful thought. So So now I already got forwards and backwards thrusters, though not enough for what I know I'm going to need. Actually, I can get even more in there. This is the beauty about creativeness and space engineers. You can always go back and readjust till you get it just right. Boom, boom. Forward and thrusters. Forward and backward thrusters. I will make mention I'm using as many large thrusters as I can compared to small ones because they count as 12 small ones for the space of what would be 6 of them. And seeing as they're hidden, I don't care too much about how they look. Let me do this the faster way. Do a nice little plane of blocks. My only concern at this point is how heavy is this ship already looking like it's going to be. This is just my hangar system. That's going to get pretty big. But thankfully I intend to slim down in the middle area and then have the booms tucked in a little bit. Rather than sticking out like this, I intend to have the booms more so like this is the main body and then the booms will be connected there. If that made sense to anyone who's watching. Okay, so I need to cement the top of my deck, the bottom of my deck. I can now get rid of these blocks. I think my lower bay may end up not happening for the rover. I would state hangar bays are deceptive. They actually do not take up as much weight as I'm probably thinking it does because it's mostly hollow space. Okay, I need to leave room for connectors somewhere. So I need to have a double hollow hull. What I mean by that is I need to have that. And then at some point, I don't quite know where, so I'm just kind of estimating I would need that so I can put my tubes in. Tubes go in here hidden, and then I can have top and bottom connectors. Connectors are very important for small ships, I find. I actually don't need that. Wasted space, let's not, or wasted weight, let's not waste it. Okay, Albatross, you're gonna have to move, my friend. Delete it. Paste it over there because I'm still going to need you for reference. Now the question is where do I want to put turrets? Because I know I'm going to need some to keep spiders and wolves away. And I'm thinking of punching a hole here at some point. Because these thrusters won't damage these 4 blocks here. But I will worry about that towards the end of this ship. Now I like to have my lowered... I'm being a fool here. I can drop this ship by 1 block. There we go. Once again, trying to shave off tonnage. So if we're trying to shave weight off, let's not make this ship any taller than it has to be. That actually works a lot better in my favor. But the floor, I will still have down one so ships can settle down by that one block so other ships can possibly fly over them. Just a safety thing I've learned throughout my building career. Bam, bam. Now I need another size reference. Before I get that, let me just do a little decorative work. Optional at this point. So there's my main hangar bay. My only question right now is how far back do I want it to go? So I would like for it to fit in 2 crafts if possible. Where's this thing's connector? On the bottom. So most likely it would fly in like this. So let's put it in like there. There's plenty of room. I could possibly even turn it. But if I turn it, then this top fin will get in the way of things. So let's get this other ship I wanted to try fitting in. So this one here I could possibly make, say, an indented top where people could climb up there and hop in. And it would just be exposed to the elements. But that also would mean it'd be exposed to enemy fire if the ship gets shot at. It would be tight, but I could, in theory, still fit this in. The other option is I could always take off the solar panels and just have this thing, because it's run by batteries, just charge off of the ship. And have a special made Albatross just for this ship. And then it can move over a lot more. But for now, that's pretty good. I've got to keep this small still, so I think I'm going to call that the end of my hangar bay. I'm going to put up a nice wall there. I'm going to have this as my actual entrance into the ship itself. Not where I wanted that. Oh good, it didn't place it. That's enough for me to at least know that there's a wall there. From there, I should probably finish off at least the ceiling and the floor of this. There's the ceiling. There's the floor. Did I extend out by too much? Nope. Okay, that's good. Good. I actually was a little short. Looks solid to me for right now. I just realized I goofed a little bit. Right here. I wanted this to come to a point, not a blunt. And right now it'll come to a blunt. If you get what I'm saying. Now it'll come to a point. And I just shaved off a little bit more weight. And maybe be able to fit even more thrusters in. But for now, I move these back by those 2 blocks. Which means I can move this forwards by 2 blocks. But I'm going to do my trusted old system. 5, 6, 7, boom. Let's get this placed like so, fly down, and finish the job. There we go. So there's that. Some nice conveniently hidden engines in the front. I do not know how much more this is going to expand before it starts cutting in, because I'm going to have it narrow up, which should shave off some more weight off of this ship. Very similar to how you see this kind of jut in. I'm going to do the same thing. Oof. I think by this point I can probably get rid of the Silverlight Mark 1. Though I intend to eventually make a 1.1 of it. Actually, I think it'd be a Mark 1.2 at this point, because I tried addressing other issues beforehand. And I'm thinking about putting thruster boxes on it. But considering it was my very first large ship in the game, I'm not going to complain. But for now, goodbye, Silverlight. I'll see you again soon. Seeing as I have the Mark III right here for more inspiration anyways. There's a small difference between Mark I and Mark III, huh? Mark III is actually how I envisioned it in the beginning. I even had a drawn picture of it and everything. Okay, so that's forwards and backwards thrust. Let me place a door here. What kind of door do I want? I'm going to stick to those doors. But these doors conveniently have this, so I can see how much I weigh. Grid mass. I'm already at 1 million if I am correct. Because hundreds, thousands, millions. So I'm already getting up there in the weight. So I'm a little worried about that. I am going to need to move this Mark III backwards a little bit. I need to adjust that sensor. But it's mostly just to keep the airlock from being compromised by someone's carelessness. I say that as one who has done such carelessness before. Move you back, my friend. There we go. Now I have the space to continue my work. That center block just has problems because I didn't have a lot of room to put it in. So that one sensor controls all 3 doors, something I normally don't do, but do we have to sometimes. I have actually just realized I want these to start pinching in there. Right now it's going to look a little odd, but I can actually fix that. Ta-da! And don't mind me, I make noises. Okay, that is not how I wanted that. Let's try this again, shall we? And I will say, even if this fails as a planetary carrier, I can always readjust it and just have another spaceborne carrier. I like making carriers for some reason. I just had it. There we go. So that means I need to get these out. Bam. Bam. Pull it over to the next one. And of course that also means I'll have to do it here too. Whoops. Delete, delete. And there's my spokes. So that's the start. Okay, another thing I like to do, but it does take up space unfortunately. But I'm going to lighten the load by using half blocks here. Because they weigh less as far as I understand. But I like to have a little bit of a deck platform, so if I need to, I can land a ship outside the hangar. And it also lets me walk around. I know what I'm doing, really, I'm a paid professional. Watch as I make mistakes. No, I really don't get paid to play space engineers. Would be great seeing as I'm currently unemployed, but meh, that's my problem, not yours. And I can think of one more adjustment to do. Kind of gives you a lead into here. And there we go. So it kind of slides into that door. Unfortunately, this spike, the little forks I'm putting in, do add in extra weight, but they also add extra protection to this hangar area. See how much it covers? Really helps to protect from the side, from any side impacts. Or if I need a ram with one of those spikes if I really get desperate. But this is a civilian ship. I am not making this for military combat, because there's no way I'd have it light enough if I armored this thing up. Not to mention, I still intend to try having a small ship, not small ship, a rover bay on the bottom. Where do I wish to go from here? So now that I've got top and bottom at least figured out, but I can do a better job of merging this in at least. Delete all that. Right idea, wrong block. There we go. Unfortunately, now I've got an impossible angle, but this is probably the best I'm going to get, because there's no block that matches that angle that I would want to use at this time. So there's that. still contemplating how to finish this top at the moment. But I can already guess I'm going to want to bump out here. And I'll make it look a little prettier. Panel 4, conveyor junction. And let's see if anyone can guess what I'm doing here. Another conveyor junction. And conveyor junction. There we go. Not a sorter, a junction, please. Now let's get back in there. So what I just did, connectors. Bam, bam. And there's my top and front connectors. Just like that. And I'm thinking of expanding this tube. Try making this as efficient as possible. So I was just going to have an empty space here anyways for the walkway. Right there. Conveyor junction, 2 blocks over. Conveyor junction, 2 blocks over. Kind of nice to keep a pattern. Doesn't matter. Bam. Delete, delete, and delete. I'm actually going to put some gyros right here, because I know I'm going to need them, and it will be empty space otherwise. Now let me find that connector. Maybe not nearly as universal as I would like the front ones, but it's an extra spot at least. I'm just going to boom, boom. I actually didn't mean to delete this one. And now I'm going to use these wonderful things called catwalks. Actually, I want those to be my tan color. Actually, I have a better idea with a different catwalk. Delete all of those. It'll make sense when I'm done. Because I think that having that line of tan along this wall will really help add a nice touch. I'm thinking about using a ramp or a thing of stairs here. But that could limit that. And I don't want to do that either. Okay, so we'll just stick to what I had before. But I'm going to keep this one tan. And change that one to purple. So I have kind of like this walk path in tan. Let's go back to number 9. There's the one I'm looking for. There we go. Though actually I'm thinking once I get to this wall, I'm thinking I'm going to want to do this again. Just to keep the style going. There we go. And there is a walk path from the exterior all the way over. Can't open up doors with no power. Duh. You think I would learn? Though I hate to keep adding weight, I do like things to look nice. And I think that that kind of gave that nice little cubby hole. And that kind of completes that cubby hole. Keep hitting all the wrong buttons today. I always do light last, so I will not light this area up until I am actually finished. Now I need bottom connectors, which will go right there, and right there. And I can actually put those in right now, once I find the right block. So, boom, boom, and there's the last one. And of course, as I've already stated, if I find out I need to, I can always adjust it later. Let's get a center line for any really large ships. Not that I'm planning on them, but I actually should get my gull out and see if it can fit. Because that'd probably be the biggest one I would take in this ship. But then again, it's also my widest ship. So, pulling up blueprints, type in Gull, Gull Fighter Slim, because I found out I had to slim it down for most of these. And yes, it could fit, but it would take up the entire bay, but this can fill the same job as the Albatross. Okay, this one here has connectors top and bottom. I'm going to actually line it up for the bottom connector. And just see what my room is like. Ruh-roh, George. I bumped my project, so now it is trying to drift away. Let's get another ship here for this job. The Kiro shuttle should actually do very well in this position. Turn those on. Nope, I don't want to rotate that. I want to just clamp them in and get them merged, because this was before I found Whip's motor control. One side's having a problem because it got damaged. Okay, I am no longer certain why that's not going all the way in, but I can always see what needs to be fixed, if anything. It was just warp damaged plating. Because unfortunately, sometimes when I spawn the Kyros in, I'll move the boons once and boom. Doesn't happen often. Seeing as this thing likes to drift now. I'm matching my dampeners to it. So, lesson learned. Don't try to fit ships in on a unanchored hangar system. I can fix this problem though. With some thrusters placed on the side. Bam. Bam. And a small reactor is all I really need. Small reactor is nowhere enough to power all these engines in use. But, hey, it's not going to drift anymore. I will keep those there until I decide what to do with those sides. Doesn't hurt to keep them there, so I might as well. So now my question is, what is my weight already at? I'm about half of the weight that I was projecting to be, which is not good because this is only like, this isn't even half the ship. I don't have engineering yet. So with that stated, I guess I need to boogie on to the rest of the ship. I did not put that in yet. Nope. I left this spot blank because I intended to put an air vent in there once I find it, which is number 5 on this one. That actually was a mistake. I actually can't really put a... I could put an air vent there, but in order to do so, I'd have to make this into a airlock, which I did not do. And then I'm going to need timers to make sure that the hangar bay doesn't open and depressurize everything. So I'm going to leave this hangar bay unpressurized. Oh, that is an idea. I'm actually going to put those back. But they are not going to be in this hangar to pressurize. They're going to be in this hangar to depressurize. So if I am on an oxygen-rich planet, I can actually have an oxygen tank on here. Leave the hangar bay doors open and just keep sucking air into the air tanks until they're full. Or I can use this as an air cycling system. So if someone misuses the airlock here and air vents into the a closed hangar, it would just go right back into the main ship. I is clever. Maybe. Okay. So with that done, let's work on the lower hangar. This is about as large of an object as I want in that lower hangar. Though who's to say the hummingbird wouldn't be able to fit in there. I want to give it one extra block of breathing room, so that when it goes up the ramp, it won't charge into the ceiling and just wreck itself. And actually, unless I want tubing showing, I'm going to have to reiterate or restate this. That's going to go down some. That's actually going to have to hold off. Though I think I have a clever idea of what I'm going to do here. Because I am trying to shave weight at this time. Actually, this is an idea I might want to pull off up here too. No, I can't do it there. You'll see what I'm talking about soon enough. So let's get these conveyor junctions on. Get them tubed up in preparation for future extensions. That's as minimalist as I can probably do. And then from there, let's get a nice wonderful block called catwalks. And I'm going to use these as a ceiling. Now I have a ceiling. So now with the ceiling established, I can now project that I want this to be about there-ish. This is right where looking at the silver light, though the original probably would have been the better reference, but still. For my undercarriage, that's going to be my rover bay. To shave off some weight, let's do that. And I am kind of thinking half blocks work with this design. Good question, good question. front or the back? That's the back, so I should not have had these tubes in the front connecting everything. There we go. I know what I'm doing. Maybe. It'll make sense in a moment. I like to have as universal ports as possible. I'm just going to have to live with that defect. That's what happens when you're building light. Hey, hey, Nope. It was worth a shot. Don't I have... Yep, I have a trusty mini light here. This is actually my Mark II. It's an... I just deleted something. Oh, solar panels from that. It's fine. Yeah, this is an older version of the mini light. As it is, my current Mark IV is actually a little out of date still. Good enough. Oof. And... there. Now my mini light was a little tow strip for a moment. Good mini light. Good. That tells me the information that I needed. I can actually, I think, make this half slabs. Which will shave off even more weight. I'm on the wrong block. Haha, laugh at me. Let's see how well that would sit with the wheels. Nope, I think I'm going to need to do... Actually, that does need to be down just to... that might be bad. Actually, no, once it's in, it'll be fine. But this can't be half blocks. That's going to have to be whole blocks. It's a little disappointing, but kind of expected. Now I'm going to take a wild guess that this is probably going to be about the middle of my ship. So I'm probably going to place my gravity generator somewhere over here. But for now, I've got to finish this lower bay. I could still do half blocks. I don't need 100% finish this bay, just get it roughly finished would be good enough. And then here I'm going to start to do this. And then I'll figure out where that bay is going to open up to give it enough room so it won't bash itself into the ceiling of that bay to drive in. I may need to put some artificial mass blocks on that ship, or on that truck. I'm going to guess that I'm probably going to need that much room. Seems about right. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 1. I was worried about that happening. Or is that too close? Well, as long as I don't put in anything longer, like say a tank. So nothing longer or taller than 2 blocks high can fit in here. Which I think the Hummingbird will fit in. The Hummingbird is actually probably my best atmospheric design because it's designed to be in a ship and then drop from a ship in space and go into an atmosphere. So it can scout a planet out before any big ships might land. But it's not made for this! Oh. It barely has any ion thrust for this kind of maneuvering. So it can't exactly go fast without good chance of crashing. Okay, so this ship actually cannot go into that lower dock because it is too tall. But rovers can. And it looks like, in theory, I should be able to fit 2 rovers in. This one here will be able to move over more. I am actually going to adjust this to permit it to do so. I don't know why that's moving. Some sacrifices must be made for the greater good of light. Remember, this ship is supposed to be a light craft. If it gets too heavy, I'm going to have problems getting it so it can be on a planet. Because I still have to put in the atmospheric drives. And enough to hold it up in atmosphere and break out of orbit. I am planning on having this ship break out of orbit using nothing but ion drives and atmospheric. I do not like using hydrogen because I find ice is too important to use in that manner. Okay, so this can go. That can go. There's my lower hangar, and I'm going to put in some ramps. Go to the ladders again. And eventually I will have, whoop, I don't need them like that. That's how I needed them. Now why are you drifting? Might just be a lack of power. So I'm going to do that. It's possessed! I don't see any broken parts bouncing around that could cause the drifting. But anyways, I now have a solid ramp. I'm hopeful that my ground vehicles will be able to, if I land this on a flat spot, be able to just drive right on in without hopefully hitting anything like, say, this. But there we go, and if I need to make it deeper, I still can, but I'm thinking about as soon as the staircase comes up, this is going to start scooting right on up. And I'll probably have some landing gear assembly or something. Not sure if I want to do piston-driven landing gears or not. Anyways, I think an hour-long video is long enough, so I'm going to get off for this video. And I will see you guys on the next one, where I'll be continuing to work on this project probably. Well, have a nice day.